Alright, how's it going, guys? It's Nate here, and I'm gonna do another video, although today I'm gonna do something a little different. So what I wanted to do was just kind of show what my game dev process is like working with Playdate Pulp. So, this isn't gonna be a illustration demo like my last couple of videos, but I will definitely be drawing in this using the in software pixel art tools. So even if you're not interested in the game development stuff per se, I think it'll be an interesting thing to watch if you're just kind of in it for the more visual aspects anyway. So first I'm going to get some music going, just to have some stuff playing in the background. And since I'm not posting this on YouTube or anything, I'm using some music with I'm just like playing Spotify, although I don't want it like too loud for you guys, so let me just turn that down slightly. Okay, so I guess to introduce, this is a program, a software called Playdate Pulp, and it is software designed for making games for the Playdate console, made by Panic. Now, if you're unfamiliar, again, with that, it's a small handheld that came out this year that was kind of intentionally an odd fusion of new tech and low tech. So it has Wi-Fi and an accelerometer and stuff like that that you would expect in new tech hardware, but then it has a 400 by 240 pixel screen, which is just a widescreen version of the Game Boy screen, the original Game Boy. It also has no backlight, so like an original Game Boy, you have to like play it with a light source. It's a very interesting console. I'm a big fan. I've had mine for about 6 weeks now, but I actually started working on this game before I had mine, because the software is available for free, and every Playdate console can be used as a development kit. So I can just export this game as I'm working on it directly onto my console and play it and test it. But today I'm just kind of doing a direct video feed on my computer using the software. It actually just runs in a web browser. I just have the window cropped so all you can see is the interface of the software. I don't really know where to start, so I just kind of thought I'd give a kind of brief tour of what it's like. There's kind of like 6 main things. You can change the font used in your game. You can compose music and sound effects. That's what these are for. And then of course there's a scripting component. I mean, it's a video game, so there is definitely coding involved, which I'm not a master coder, but you can see I've learned some stuff since I've started working on this. I failed programming too in college. If that, I got a D, if that gives you any indication of where my programming skills are at. But the vast majority of what you're doing in the game is in the software is constructing rooms for your game. Pulp conceptualizes your game as a series of rooms that the player moves to and fro, and this is a good, simple overview of a room. This is a section of a town. Let me turn my music down even more. It's a little distracting for me. Okay, where am I doing? OBS. There we go. So this is a part of a town. It's probably most likely the first town the player is going to encounter when they're playing the game. And you can see some stuff here. There's obviously the pixel art, which I made using the tile system. Like down here, these are all small. I believe they're what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 8 pixel squares, and you assemble your artwork in blocks like that. That's obviously a simplified way of approaching the pixel art. You don't have command over every individual pixel. Also, I believe in the 8 by 8 square, every pixel, quote unquote, in their interface is actually a 2 by 2 square, so you can't put down individual pixels. They said they did this so the games would have a better legibility on the screen. And in my opinion, it's true. Having played some games that were made in a software development kit instead of on Pulp, people have put like 1 pixel text fonts in their games, for example, and they're very hard to read on the small screen. It also just kind of gives everything more of a weighty look. So, and then so that you see the pixel art obviously, and then you see some of this green stuff. What these are teleportation marks. So like this up arrow is here because if you go up, go to the exits, you select that, it shows you that this arrow sends you to Monster Town East. Right now we're in Monster Town South. So that's how you will pan to the next room, which will send you here, which is just another part of the town. That's using the exits tab. You can also put in doorways, and those will take you, to like specific areas. For example, these take you to interiors. So like this small shack, it takes you to small shack, which has this crazy skeleton guy dancing in it. So yeah, this town I've been working on for a while. It was kind of the first like really big thing I decided to put in the game because it has like shops with items you can buy and stuff. So I had to add an inventory to the game. I had to make sure that the currency was working. And, every interior is a whole other room. So it really made the room count start to kind of skyrocket. So actually, the first thing I wanted to do was just show off a little bit of the game. So I'm going to put the player here. This is, redo, save. And this song's almost over, so I'm just going to pause it, even though that last 30 seconds is my favorite part. So in this software, there's actually a full-blown simulator where you can play and test your games. So you don't even have to dump it out to hardware. So here you can see the guy, the main character, walking around. The game starts right here in this hall. Boom, it's quiet. You don't know what's going on. And I'll get through this and start talking. Cool. Whoa, okay. So the game kind of starts off with this short little dream sequence, and you wake up in your new bedroom. A lot of the game is walking around and talking to people and inspecting stuff. And this room is actually, this was the first environment I ever made, and I hate it now. I'm gonna totally redo this room later, but right now it's probably the most placeholder thing in the game right now, other than areas that literally are like dead ends. You step out, boom, front yard. And like I said, it's an adventure game. A lot of what you do is talk to people and get items and try to solve puzzles and stuff. You've got an inventory, so when you press B, it pulls up the pocket. Right now, all we have is pocket lint. Yep, pocket lint. And then on the Playdate, there's just A and B in the D-pad. So you use the D-pad to walk around, A to interact with stuff, B for your inventory. But the Playdate also has a crank on the side. And while I don't use the crank per se for analog input, the game can register when the crank has been pulled out and when the crank has been pulled away. So in my game, when you pull out the crank, ta-da, it pulls up a world map, which I designed to kind of purposefully be a little ambiguous. You're not even sure where you are on the map until you start exploring, and you kind of start to figure out what everything on the map signifies. You can kind of assume this is the castle, which you already know you're trying to get here. So then you kind of assume, okay, well, I'm probably somewhere over here, right? And then you put the So if you put the crank away, boom, you're back. This is a ball of slime. Blob of slime, sorry. That's money. Got this chest here. A yo-yo. That's a Earthbound reference. Yeah, let's take it. So now we got yo-yo in our pocket. Imagine hitting someone with this. That would be crazy. Again, it's just a funny little Earthbound reference. Almost everyone you can talk to the Scarecrow. Optimistic Scarecrow. Got the radio. And you come out here. And again, if you pull out the map, you'll notice we can, from this area, we can go up, down, left, or right. Which I believe the only place like that in the whole map is right here. Oh, there's a house. Which means there's a forest down here, some cactuses over here, and a river over here. So we gotta cross a river to get to the castle. But the bridge is under construction. Why not go check out the desert or the forest? There's a guy who says there are monsters in the forest, but he's just closed-minded. We got a fountain. If only I had something to wish with. Got. So it's the desert over here. Well, who's this guy? Oh, he's the guy who's talking about the monsters. Monsters. A little humor in there. This is down in the forest. Okay, that's enough. The point of this video wasn't to show off the game like that. I wanted to show how I'm making it. So that's kind of the very beginning of the game. Now, right now, I'm still working on trying to finish up this monster town. So, let us... I believe I went Grove. Okay. So, first of all, I'm going to put the player... the player tab lets you move where the player starts. So, I've moved him here, and if I hit play, you'll see the game just starts right here instead. Which is really... Oh, look, we're on the other side of the forest now. What happened? It's very convenient for testing stuff. Because you can just put your player in places they shouldn't be able to go and all sorts of stuff. So, layout of the monster town is this grove. Then you've got Monster Town East. Then to the south, you got south. To the west there, you got another wishing well. Now, the wishing well is the quick travel system in the game. So once the player gets the right item, they can make a wish and wish to go home or wish to go somewhere else, and they can teleport from fountain to fountain. Then we've got all the interiors. Pizza shop, small shack. Okay, so this is Monster Town North. So this is actually one of the things I need to build. And I'm hoping in this video I'm going to make an interior and an exterior. We'll see how quick I am. Because I'm trying to keep these videos to an hour. There's inside a building, inside the item shop. And then we got the factory, both sections of the factory. Yeah, it's pretty much the whole town. So what's left is the area that's going to be to the west of here, the area that's going to be to the south of here, and then the interior of this building. And then I'm finally done with the Monster Town, which I've been working on for a while. Then after that, there's the desert, which you saw some of. You saw this bit. There's only a couple of rooms in the desert, but let's see. Where do I want this? Northwest. What you can't see right now because of this bar, but in game there's a little doorway. That doorway leads out into what I'm calling the Sands, which is a giant sort of labyrinthian open desert where the player can just move freely. And as you can see here, there's going to be a lot of screens. And the idea is that it's going to operate kind of like a maze. So I'm doing that next because I wanted the player to be able to go kind of in two different directions at the start of the game. Their choice, desert or forest. Although they're going to need to kind of like hop back and forth to make progress. But I'm mostly interested in just fleshing out those two paths and then kind of seeing where that takes me. I have drawn maps of the whole world map and stuff, but I'm also trying to make sure the game doesn't get too big. So for example, I made this map and I'm kind of holding myself to this and saying like, okay, let's have this be the whole game. And right now I have like this done down here into this over here. Like this is pretty much all done. And this is like halfway done. But it's like, okay, then that means when I'm done with the desert and done with Monster Village, I'll be like a third done with the game. So it's still a lot. Maybe, although I am getting faster, which is good. So we are going to make Monster Town North. So to make a new room, we just click plus. We're going to call it Monster Town North Interior. Boom. All right, we're cooking. So for the interiors, what I've been doing in this game is having at least a full black border. And this isn't gonna look perfect at first. Been trying to have a full black border, if not more, maybe two. At least at first, just to make it, feel more claustrophobic, more inside. Although, like this layer, I'll probably pretty quickly do something like this. Let's see if I have a good wall texture. Do something like this. So then it looks like this is kind of like a wall or something. But I don't want to use that one. I want to use, what did they use? Stone. I think I'm going to make a new texture. It's going to be like wood wall. Okay. So as you can see, this is what a lot of the drawing is like. It seems very simple, but it requires a lot of trial and error because you never know when you're really going to get something quite right. See, I just don't know how I feel about that. But if we do something like So yeah, this is the interesting part about working with these small pixels is the subtlest changes can make such a big impact. Just the tiniest little changes. Just trying to get kind of this like wood grain texture. Okay, that's not terrible. What if we do something more like this? What if I go for like vertical? Yes. I think this will like work better. So yeah, like I said, a lot of trial and error. I'm gonna turn the music back on. A lot of trial and error. And it's like way less about kind of having this like image. I kind of like that. It's way less about having this like image in your head of like what it's supposed to look like, and way more of like, does it look like wood? Does it kind of fit with everything else I've done? We're good. That's at least how I've kind of tackled it. So I've got these windows that I made. That's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I also kind of give myself a little bit of a cop-out, especially with the Monster Village. Because there's an NPC who says, the whole joke with the Monster Village is that it's people who just like break social norms. They're not monsters. That's like the whole bit. And there's a guy who says like they pride themselves in their asymmetrical architecture. So if I just like have like no window here or something, it kind of like fits the concept of the town. Okay, so this room is supposed to be like stables. Two. One, two. And then let's see, we're gonna make a new. It's like. And, at this point, it was a lot harder at the beginning just because it was like, oh, I don't have a grass texture. Then I have to just like... Wait, what the hell? Did I put that there? Whoops. Yeah, it was a lot harder at the beginning because it was like, oh, I don't have a wood texture. Oh, I just have to like spend the next... right there, I didn't have a wood texture. So then it was like, oh, I have to spend the next like while, kind of figuring it out before I can really start laying out environments. Well, that's how it was for everything. It was like, oh, I don't have any plants, so I have to make a bunch of different flowers. I have to make trees. I have to make all these different things. Now it's like I've kind of got this like dirt kind of spotted texture. So then when I'm building an interior, I just throw that down. I've got this kind of like blanket. Just throw that down. It's all about kind of like... Also, a lot of the stuff is really visually ambiguous. Like, those are just some dots, okay? I've used them indoors. I've used them outdoors. They just add like a certain degree of noise. So just like anytime you're making art, it's all about context. It's all about finding what's the context of this symbol, or like what's the context of this mark. You know what that. Okay. And the red, if you're wondering, it just means it's impassable. So like in the game, the player can't walk into it. So I just check every once in a while to make sure, like, where am I like, okay, like this. Like, I messed up. I need to make that impassable. See, that's why I check. Because otherwise the player will just like start walking up a wall or something. So let's put in the exits really quick. Put it here and make it a bar, and it's gonna take us to Monster Town North, and it's gonna dump us out right outside. Yeah, okay, I guess I have to do doorways. Yeah, your options are like a plane or a single point. And sometimes, like if you want to be able to leave or enter in the middle of the map, you kind of like have to use the particular exits. So I'm just gonna put in one entrance here. And it's gonna take us to right there. So let's see how it goes. We should start off in here. Okay. Look at that. Boom. Now, one thing I'm kind of noticing, it's not quite the right shape. So I think I'm actually gonna shave this off. It's a little better. May also actually make it more rectangular. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay. Yeah, that's something that's nice. Like once you set the exits, then they're just kind of like objects. So even if like they moved when I panned the room, they then can just be like reselected and moved. And we'll put this here so it feels like it has higher ceilings. And maybe actually put in these kind of like taller windows. Those don't quite fit, do they? Now, fortunately, Control Z works, so you can just undo stuff. Well, how about just taller windows like that? It's a little better. So we're gonna put somebody here, like NPC. Kind of want like a barrel or something. Have I done a barrel? I'd say probably the one big thing that's very annoying. So as you can see, like to make like something like this table, I have like all these table pieces that are like corners and stuff, and it's kind of hard to keep track of like what is even what. Okay, there's boxes. Alright. I think this might be a good time. Oh, you know what? I might put in the chest. Like the chest that's at the front yard. Where is it? Like this chest. But I might make it like, let's see. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm like, where is it? Oh man, I'm totally spacing. And you're probably staring at it. You're probably like, Nate, it's right there. Ah, This is it. This is it. Yes. Okay. It's just extra weird. Okay. Yes, I see. The problem is I was looking for the keyhole, and the keyhole is split between two shapes. There we go. But I kind of want it to be one. Dang it. Kind of want it to be one higher. And yeah, I know what you're probably sitting there thinking. Wow, you can't just move it. Nope. You know, the software is relatively new. The Playdate is relatively new. There have been kind of like wish lists in forums of features people would like to see added, and I can tell you right now, something like being able to mass select sprites and then like pan them around once we're in this menu would be great, but it does not exist. So now I'm going to try and make like a barrel. A lot of making the sprites is doing stuff like this, where you like duplicate and then flip a sprite. Doesn't quite look like a barrel. I think I need to get the top better. Oh. We're getting there. Maybe it'll help if I put in like a little... Those look like eyes. Okay. I actually kind of like the way that looks. It's looking pretty barrelish. But I kind of want to... Alright, that's pretty good. Kind of want to leave it alone. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. It's close. It's close, folks. This is a lot of what it's like. At first I was kind of unsure if I should make a game dev video like this. And then I was like, you know what? Even if it's a little boring, people need to know that it's a little boring, I guess. Because people are like, that's got to be cool. And I'm like, you would be surprised of how often I'm in my room trying to make a barrel or something. Like, okay. So yeah, that kind of the idea behind this building was that there was going to be this area you have to, you see, and then you have to go into the building and then out to access. So that's kind of what I'm putting in right now. And then we'll just put in Alright, I'm going to test that. I always test my teleporters. This is going to have the yo-yo in it. Which, yeah, the sprites have scripting tied to them. So if you reuse a sprite, then you kind of, that's a lot of the time, like what I should have done was copy the chest. So I'm going to have to redo this chest. But I can like script these to be like, yeah, it's a barrel, which I will show off in just a second. I'm going to put an NPC here, and then I'm going to make these like weird little horses, and I'm going to put them all up in here. And then I'm going to put something in here. That's how you can finally get that slime blob. Oh, I want to change that. Oh, no. There we go. Now it should feel more like you're coming out the way you came, or coming out the way you... Yeah, that's like on the bottom. That stays on the top, and then that one stays on the top. Okay. Cool. So yeah, for now, I kind of show off a little bit. Let's see. So this is exactly how I write stuff for this game. I just come up with like a stupid little joke, and then later if I decide I don't like it, I cut it. But kind of poking fun of the fact that they don't quite look like barrels, despite their confusing appearance. These are in fact barrels, but not the red exploding kind. It's kind of like a little video game humor. Okay, so we're gonna make a new chest. Which is cool because I kind of want to move this again. Kind of put the chest in this corner. So what we're gonna do is find the chest. Then copy each piece. And then what's cool is, since we're copying these are already scripted. Let's come up with a better name. We'll call this like farm chest 1. And you'll see I'm bad at making sure I name everything. What I really make sure I name are the things that are like duplicates, because that may come up in code, because you can reference specific tiles in code and you just reference them by name. So what you saw here with the barrels was using this behavior. There's 2 behaviors to every tile. One is very basic, and then one is actual scripting. One is just giving it text, which can just be triggered by interacting, which in Pulp's kind of default engine is just bumping into something. You don't even press A, you walk into it. Now, these chess pieces are scripted. So if I have it selected, and then I go to script, it pulls up the code already written for this. So when the game loads, this tile not this tile. The variable bag yo-yo is 1, which is like a universal variable. And then pretty much through this interaction, bag yo-yo can be reduced to 0, which then means any tile that references bag yo-yo is now universally 0. So there's 2 different text options using an else if bag yo-yo is greater than 1 or less than 1. So this is like very basic scripting, but it's like the idea is this variable puts a yo-yo in this box. This text interaction, where if the player says yes, takes that out with minus minus, bag yo-yo minus minus, and yo-yo plus plus gives the player yo-yo. So that like simple math exchange moves the yo-yo from the box to the player. That's functionally what it does. It's just one variable going down and one variable going up, but that's kind of how I conceptualize it. And then if yo-yo is out of the box, then it says, the chest is empty. So I'm actually probably going to keep this, and I'll probably put something in this box. But I'm probably not going to do it right now because I don't have an idea for what I'm going to put in this box. So for now, I'm just going to put this chest here and let it be weird. And what will happen is if the player... The way this box will actually function in the game is if the player hasn't gotten their yo-yo, then it's going to say, this chest has your trusty yo-yo, which wouldn't make any sense. But that's how it's going to function. I don't quite like how that looks crammed in the corner. Yeah, this is annoying. Being a perfectionist and working with this tile set is mind melting. Okay. Okay. I think that made it close to where I initially had it. Silly me. I kind of want to put something like here. Yeah. It's all about just making the rooms feel full to me and just like lived in. And then also having a nice amount of dead space, just because the Playdate screen is pretty small. Here's the deal. I think making the people is going to be making the characters for this interior is going to be very meticulous and kind of boring. So what I'm going to do, because about 45 minutes in, I'm just going to start working on another exterior, and I can kind of talk about the game while I do that much better. So what I'm going to do is make the next area, which is called the West Grove. Okay. So, kind of rough out. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is something I do also. Wait. 2. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that is what I was just doing there, is ensuring that there's going to be consistency from screen to screen. So like on this screen, there's 2 tiles up here which are impassable, and then 8 tiles that the player can walk through, and then the rest are impassable. So since they're going to be walking through here into here, I want to make sure I keep the same passable, impassable tiles aligned, so that when I put a plane, like the exit plane in here, like this thing, that they can't like accidentally walk into a tree or something. Which, that was just kind of something I adopted early on, that I decided like, hey, this would be a good thing to just kind of always keep track of. I think it just kind of makes the area feel a little more real, a little more lived in. So what I do when I do outdoor tiles like this is I just kind of approximate everything first. Like, I know there's going to be like a table here. So this is kind of like sketching. So like, I know there's going to be a table here. So I know I'm going to have like some trees back in here. So I'm going to put like one big tree down. Which, surprise, can be a little annoying because it's a bunch of sprites. Here we go. This is like the top of the tree. So anyway, I guess I kind of wanted to just talk about the game. So the game is called Which Way to Eden, and it kind of is just I would say the byproduct of the natural process of having the curiosity to make a game and kind of having your original concepts meet the reality of having to actually do it. Because I originally had a couple of different ideas, and then I started actually working on the game, and I was like, oh, that is going to be hard. Like whatever I wanted to code or do. Although there are some core things that I feel like I'm still really successfully hanging on to. Pretty much the idea was I wanted to make a game that felt big. I wanted it to feel like a real kind of chunky adventure game with some intrigue and, stuff that was going to pique the player's curiosity, interesting places to go, things to see. Just something you can kind of get lost in, because I thought that would be really interesting to implement on such a small device. Because a lot of the games are going to be very small, and I just thought there could be something really unique accomplished from being like, okay, but what if I just try to make the map really big? What if, maybe you're not doing the most complex stuff in the game, but it just feels lived in. And also just kind of leaning into my strengths. Like, I know I can make cool looking stuff. I'm comfortable in my ability as an artist. not comfortable in my ability as a programmer. Let me tell you, some of the things that I showed off, like the map popping out like that, that took 2 hours of coding. And when I was done, I texted multiple different people and was like, I did it! I figured, like, some of the stuff has felt like really challenging. My friend who has been helping with me with the game, they've got more programming experience than I do, and I came to them with like a wish list, like, oh, I'd like for there to be money, I'd like for there to be like an inventory, and we got all that stuff up and running in one night. That was also what really sparked me to keep working on it, because I was like, whoa, okay, if we can get that done that fast, then how quickly can we do some of this other stuff? Or, like, just how challenging will X, Y, or Z be? And so far, trying to keep myself reined in, there hasn't been anything really added that I haven't been able to get working. Now what I'm really trying to figure out more is, like, what is the game? What is it about? What is the player trying to do? I'm cool with it being more about the journey and less about the destination, more about the world. I don't think every story has to have clear-cut, like, beginning and middle and end, especially in gaming. I think that's something that a lot of game developers fail to understand, is that the strength of a game is that, unlike a novel, you can pick it up and go to page 54 immediately and start seeing what's up over there. And obviously you have to put in walls and constraints, because that, you can't program for every possible scenario. But I believe in making a game where the player can just walk where they want to walk, and see where that leads them. So making a game with that kind of design philosophy in mind for the Playdate is, I think, enough. It's also, I'm not super experienced making games. I've just used like little game making software and stuff like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I accidentally clipped off the top path. Yeah, I just, my gaming experience is using little game making softwares like Little Big Planet and RPG Maker and stuff like that, Mario Maker. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping to make, what I'm hoping to do. And the way I have kind of pitched it to people is like Zelda meets Monkey Island. I think that's hopefully what it's going to end up being like towards the end. We're going to have to see, and I think that's kind of the exciting part, is I don't really know what it's going to be like at the end. I just know kind of the vague direction it's moving in. But I would like maybe just a couple more features I can rely on, but I think a lot of people would be surprised what you can do with a game that just has a basic inventory system, trading items for other items, using items to get past certain roadblocks. These are kind of like tried and true adventure game mechanics, and I think you can do a lot with it. I think it's a really powerful foundation for a game still, and still hasn't been totally exhausted. So that's what I'm hoping to explore, and and hopefully succeed in proving. I guess I don't know. I don't know if people really think that, but that's what I want from the game. I also just wanted to be able to give life to some of my creations and make a game, make a world where it feels like my imagination as kind of like a place people can go. Because another huge influence on the game would be like, the Earthbound series, Mother. The original concept for the game kind of involved like this, like dream mechanic where you would be like going in other people's dreams. And I think I still am interested in implementing that to some degree or another. But we'll have to see. Again, it's just a matter of like, well, what does that really look like? You know? Wait. There we go. So, this area, the idea is the player is going to come across a bunch of people playing D&D in the woods. So I've got this big table. And then, let's see, I've got some stools. Let's see, come on. Is that it? No. Oh, jeez. There we go. Stool. So, yeah. We'll do that for now. This will definitely get touched up. It's going to get populated with... actually, I want to keep this empty. This will get populated with characters. But this is kind of like the general vibe. Let's see. There we go. We are right at 57 minutes, so this is a great time to stop. Okay. And just so we can look at our accomplishments, we'll do a stroll around the monster village. Consider hugging the tree, but decide it's best to respect the tree's boundaries. Okay. So first, we got this area. This chair has its back coming out of the exact center, making it incredibly difficult to sit on. Although the craftsmanship is impeccable. Yeah, these are from like another building. So again, I'll probably either might leave the description on them. But yeah, we got this nice little grove area done. And as you saw there, I kind of, kicked that out pretty quick. Making the NPCs. I still need to add dialogue to this guy and this guy. They don't say or do anything yet. It's just, it's a lot of work. It just keeps on coming, keeps on going. Okay, we got this interior. We got our funny barrel. We got our chest that's there. It's not done. And you can get this slime finally, which I had someone play test the game and they were like, pisses me off that I can't get that slime. It's like, don't worry, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Okay, so I still gotta, add some people, maybe add a couple of things to do or interact with or get. But the monster village, man, it is, at least the rooms are all connected, because technically the one to the south is like the exit. So thank you for joining me. I hope this was interesting. I hope this was informative. I don't think I can talk about it as fluidly as I can my art, but hopefully I explained some things, and hopefully it was cool watching me do the pixel art. But yeah, expect more updates on the game. I mean, this is kind of the long-term project I'm working on now. I don't expect to be done anytime soon. Kind of vaguely hoping to be done by the end of the year, I guess is my hope. We'll see. I also might try to get some other people to help me work on it, in which case it could definitely come out faster or become more substantial, either one. But yeah, so yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.